Hello, dear friends. We have seen in my previous video about Karnataka and Kannada language, its origin and development in brief. Today, we are going to see some information about the play Nagamandala by Girish Karnad, a famous and well known dramatist, well known actors, well known author, well known scholar in India who received Padma Bhushan and Padma Vibhushan as well as Sahitya Academy Award. Nagamandala is a very famous play by Girish Karnad, which is a two-act play written by him. In 1987 to 1988, which is published in 1988 actually. Nagamandala means a play with cobra. Cobra, you might have known that it is a serpent. It is a creature that crawls on the earth. Nagamandala was basically a Kannada play, and later on it is translated into English. Most of his plays are translated into English by himself because he was the student of English language. The play blends history with mythical elements. The story of Nagamandala is taken from the Kannada folklore, which Karnad heard from the poet A.K. Ramanujan. A.K. Ramanujan is a very famous Indian English poet. The narrator of Nagamandala is the story and is narrated to a man. Nagamandala means there is a round of Naga in the neck. We usually see this Nagamandala in the neck of Bhagwan Shiva, Mahadeva. Here Nagamandala hangs around Rani, the protagonist of the play. Her husband's indifferent attitude towards her and her incognizant affair with King Cobra. It is considered that the affair is going on of that Rani with King Cobra. It assumes that by her husband, and that's why there is indifferent attitude of her husband towards Rani. Ultimately, Rani loses her husband Appanna. The name of her husband is Appanna, and there is one character Rani and another is Appanna. Rani loses her husband Appanna to a concubine. Concubine means another lady is kept by a man and lower in social status. That is called concubine, Concubine, and becomes anxious about the situation. Kurudava, an old blind lady, advises Rani to use two magical roots, a small one and a big one, which can enchant her husband back to herself. There is a complaint of Rani that her husband is in the custody of a concubine, physically and mentally. But there is a old blind lady is there, namely Kurudava, who advises Rani, if you want to bring back your husband to you, you should use magical roots, two magical roots of a particular tree, a small one and a big one, which can enchant her husband back to herself. There was a belief at that time that such kind of doings will enchant a particular person. If you intend to chant a particular person, then you can use a small or big root of the particular tree. So that kind of beliefs were there, maybe superstitions and maybe other type of rituals. When the small one fails, she decides to use a big one. Initially, you should use a small one, small root, and if it fails, then you can use big root to enchant Rani's husband. But she is reluctant to fascinate her husband by this way. She determines to allure Appanna to other way by love and affection instead. So she pours the paste of the root mixed in curry into an ant hill where a king cobra consumes it. It is quite interesting to know what exactly happened about that roots. She made a paste of that root and pours the paste of root mixed in curry into an ant hill. Ant hill, up to the west. There is the ant hill up to the west we usually see in rainy season. The hills were built by ants, and in that hills usually the snakes used to live. What Rani did, she pours the paste of the root mixed in curry into an ant's hill where the king cobra consumes it. The king cobra, that is Naga, assumes the appearance of Appanna and replaces him at nights. Rani gets pregnant by the Naga. Appanna gets enraged by her suspicious conception and brings Rani to village elders where she takes oath on a cobra on the advice of Naga. Now Rani is pregnant by Naga. Appanna gets enraged. He became angry. And there is a suspicion in the mind of Appanna. That suspicion or the conception of that suspicious, he brings Rani to the elders of the villages to take oath. on a cobra on the advice of Naga. The elders believe her to be of divine birth as the cobra moves around her neck like a garland and her innocence is proved. Apanna finally accepts her and the child, and they lead a happy life. The elders believe her to be of divine birth as a cobra moves around her neck like a Shiva, Mahadev. You might have seen many times there is a round of snake in the neck of Mahadeva. The same is happening with Rani, and that's why she is a divine birth, divine lady. Nobody can do this, or nobody, any snake can circle in the neck of a lady. This is the unique situation, and this is the unique lady that cannot be compared with other common ladies. So, this lady, that is Rani, is a unique lady, divine lady. So, all the elders believe her to be of divine birth as the cobra moves around her neck like a garland and her innocence is proved. Apanna finally accepts her as a divine lady, as an innocent lady with the child, and later on they lead a happy life. In my next video, we will see act-wise summary of this Nagamandala. In today's information, we have seen that there are three major characters. One is Naga itself, that is King Cobra. Second is Rani, who is the wife of Apanna and beloved of the King Cobra, Naga. Apanna is one more important character, who is the husband of Rani, who has a concubine also, and who has a suspicion about Rani and King Cobra for their illegitimate relationships. Till then, he accepts her as an innocent lady. So this is the story. We will go through the story in detail, act-wise, with the act-wise summary in my next video. Till then, thank you.